Hey, good morning, folks. It's Mr. Max again. Um, I have another project I'm going to be messing with. Let me show you guys what that is. Okay, this bumper belongs to a 2019 Kia Optima. This is the rear bumper, the lower valance of the rear bumper. It got damaged here. This part costs about, this for 500 and change for this little black strip. That's crazy. You know, it's a lot of money for that. Now, the upper part of the rear bumper, it has some damage here, a little bit. Oh no, that's for the molding. This one here, this one is a little worse. And here, see, it's all jacked up. The problem with this is this bumper cover is back ordered. They can't tell me when they're gonna get a new one at the dealer. So the customer can't wait 1 month, or who knows how long it's going to take to get this bumper. The used ones, not too many places have used one, and they want a lot of money for the used bumper cover. So hey, I'm able to do magic, so I'm gonna get this thing moving now. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys my technique of messing, trying to repair this. Okay, so stay tuned. All right, folks, so I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna go about repairing this part here. All right, take a look. What I'm doing here, I'm gonna get rid of the paint. Alright, let me remove that paint. Alright, this is a hot iron I'm going to use to melt the plastics so I can fuse them together, So I already had it heated, so I just got to start glue this thing together. Alright, so see here. As you can see, let me make one. If I had someone to hold a camera to show what I'm actually doing, I'll just give it a few taps and some spots so I could it will stay together where it should. And then I can do the rest of the whole thing. So once you glue that, you got to give it a few seconds to dry before you release it. So I got to go all the way down. There is a hole here. I'm going to fill that with another part of a bumper. So I got to go from here down, over here down, across, and it's taking a little longer than usual to dry. Put one more here, so that will keep it together. One here. this I have to do both sides, on the inside and outside. And on the inside I'm going to put another glue as a reinforcement. So this one is already dry, this one is still wet. So that's what it is. So I'll save some money. I mean, the time that it's taking me to mess with this, it's worth it. You know, the insurance, they're playing their little games. So I gotta figure a way out to I could, you know, make the job worthwhile for me. Or you try to save the customer some money, and so I have to do some repairs so I could make my money too. Alright, so let me continue here. So you see where the crack is? You just put that on the spot where the crack is. Melt the plastic together, you know, go a little further deep inside, and then you just spread it with that. You know, gotta let it, give it a few minutes to heal or to dry. Then I could let go of that and then move on to the other areas. That one is good now. So this one is done. We get rid of that paint. That paint has to come off because it's going to be a problem. I just want the plastic. You can't have paint while doing where you're going to do the repair. Alright, so let me scrape that off. I'll get back to that. Yeah, the complete bumper, this at the lower part that goes here, all that is almost $1,000 at the dealer. You know, so I'm gonna make this thing work. Alright, so that one is dry. So that's what it is. So as it dries, you know, you do all these little spots, and then you're gonna go and do everything, the whole crack. Gotta do this, what I did here. That hole, I'm gonna get another piece of a bumper with no paint on it and melt it and just fill in this gap here from the inside. Alright, let's continue. So this here, let's say an hour, a little more than an hour, I should have this completed. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do to create or to reinforce this area here, because this will be a weak spot here. So I'm going to reinforce that with a piece of metal and some rivets. Okay. So you make sure you hold that before you release. So it dry. Once it's dry, you release and you move on to the next one. You see the bumper is on this stand, but it goes down. I need to have it come up a little bit so I could get this thing, you know, right. So what I'll do, I'll put a bucket to keep it up. All right. So now it's level. Alright, so I'm going to continue. Sometimes you gotta put your hand behind, so everything lines up. But you know, it might get hot if you can't handle it. You have a piece of cloth or something. Okay, so let that dry. Then I'm gonna continue here. Once I do that, I'll jump to this area here, do that, and yeah, that's pretty much will be it. Then I gotta flip it around and do the same thing on the other side. You have to do that one also. This way it makes it stronger. Okay, that's done. Let it dry. So, you know, the crack was here, a little bit here. I gotta remove that paint. And it goes all the way down here. So I have to do all these in between spots that I didn't do. Okay? And, alright, so I'm gonna do that, and I'll show you guys when I'm done with that part. Okay. Alright, so folks, I'm almost done with this thing. Well, I gotta fill that in. I have this yet to do over here and this area here. So let me do that. And so you create a little groove with that iron, and then you just meld those two plastic together. And once you do the same on the inside, and on the inside to add extra reinforcement, I'm gonna put a little glue in there, maybe Duramex or yeah, I didn't decide yet which glue I'm gonna use, but I'll show you guys. It was back in the 90s when I was in Brooklyn, New York. I used to get a lot of work from used car dealers, and sometimes, you know, in order for them guys to make their money, they ask you if you can repair whatever part, you know, some parts, and that's where I get to figure these things out, how to repair when you don't want to buy. You know? So I have to do that a lot for those guys. So it made me, you know, find ways to do this. That's done. There is a little crack back here. I have to get rid of the paint, and so let me go get a little piece strip of another bumper so I could fill that in. Alright? So hang on. Alright, so here is that. That's another part, a piece I cut off a bumper. Alright, so let's see what I'm doing. I'll just make this soft, spread it, to fill this gap. Should have something on the bottom. I'm gonna use this on the bottom here. Okay. So this doesn't go all the way down. Alright. And this bumper cover, so the dealer, it's back ordered and they can tell me when they will get another one. The aftermarket they have one aftermarket, but they want too much money for that. So I can't see why an aftermarket bumper costs almost the same as a genuine bumper. And I said, nah, I ain't buying that. So I said, I'll just do what I need to do to get this thing. Since I'm gonna save the owner some money, so she don't come out of pocket. So I'll have to do this for me to, you know, make my profit. Okay, so that's good. That hole is filled. That's done. This one is good. So there is another crack on that side there. I'm gonna go do that. Or let me see, let me do this since I'm on this side. Finish this up. There is a little piece that broke here. Show you guys what's going on here. On this side you have that little piece that broke. I mean, part of it is still attached to the cover. So you see this crack here? I'm gonna clean that up, get rid of the paint, heat that with the hot iron, and then I'll move on to the other side. There is one crack, but that's very easy to do. You know, this was this side is worse than that side. Oh, I think I gotta do this one yet over here. All right, so let me do that, and let that dry for a minute. See, the country I'm from, sometimes you have to repair stuff. So that's where all some of the little things that I know about body work is I came to the U.S. with a little bit of knowledge from back home. So sometimes you can't get apart, or it will take long to get apart. So we fix in those countries. You gotta fix. All right. So this one is pretty much good already. So now I gotta do the back. Do the same thing I did on the outside, and then I'll just. All right. So let me go to that side and do that little crack that's on the other side. Show you that. This one here. So this one is a little tiny one, so sure it won't take that long to fix. Alright, so let me start messing with that. So the crack is going like this. So, and this car is a pearl white, so that paint is thick on the cover. You know, you have to put the base, then the pearl, then the clear. So sometimes with like the crack, where the crack is, you could go like this, create a groove in there, you know. But you know, I do it like this sometimes. You get a wider area. Just go a little deep in there. And then you just fuse that. Sometimes you need to have a little metal in the back here to keep it from going far down, too far. Okay, so that's done. So now I'm gonna flip this over. All right, folks, so I already did the, so I'm gonna add, I'm gonna wipe it clean with some thinners. And that's the lower part of the rear bumper. And this is the other part, the upper part, which I did the outside already. So I did inside. I did the inside. I didn't film that one, but it takes, you know, a little long to show all that. But so I'm gonna clean it. I did some sanding, sanded a little bit, and that's the other little one on the other side of the bumper over here. I did what I did on the outside. There was a little crack here. I did that. Back here, so I did a little sanding. So now I'm going to wipe it clean with some thinners, and then I'll mix, do the glue. Over here I'm going to make a little metal, since there was a crack on the bottom here going up, you know. Let me show you. See, there was a crack. It cracked from the outside. I mean, down to the lip, and that's a real dangerous area to have a crack. So what I'll do, I'm gonna cut a piece of metal, and you know, to put like about this, maybe 2 inches long. Put that, so I'll put it over here. I'll show you how I'm gonna do that. So that will create like a reinforcement. So if the bumper should bend, it won't crack. All right, so that's it. So let me clean that, and I'll continue with this. Yeah, so I'm wiping it clean with tennis. Can't have no dirt, so your glue will work best when everything is clean proper. All right, this side here. Now I gotta do the low part. Let's see. All right, I gotta wipe this one. I need to put the phone on the stand. Okay, so hang on there. All right, so I'm gonna mix JB weld. I'll mix that. That's I got the, which one is this? The slow. Okay, so I have to leave that for 24 hours to dry. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, because once I put that on, I'll just let it stay overnight. Okay, so let me do the mixing, and I'll show you how I'm doing it. All right, so I have that piece of metal. I sand it a little bit, because when you put glue, you want to have some, in order for it to bond or have something to grab onto, you know, you will do a little sanding, you know, clean it with the cloth with the thinners. That's already clean. So I already mix the Duramix. It's already mixed. So I'm gonna start apply that. So you see, I had to, this here is gonna go where I had the crack on the lip. So this is gonna create like an extra strength reinforcement, so it doesn't crack easily. All right. So let me start with this, the Duramix. I'll put some on this. Over here. You could use any epoxy glue that you may have. The quarter panel, the panel bonding glue, you could use that also. I'm just using this because I have this right now. So that's okay. That's there. So I'm gonna put some over here. Okay. Create an extra strength on where the crack was. think a brush would be best to do this, to spread this around. To do it with this for now. I had a kerosene heater working and it just went off. Gotta go see about it in a few. Okay, so that's it for here. I noticed this thing was for the air, the sensor, the park assist. It's a little loose here, so I'm gonna put some glue in there. I have to put some weight on it, keep it down. Some on the outside. I made sure I cleaned that one also before. So this is pretty good. A little bit here on the edge. Okay, that's good there. Now I have to go to the other side. Let me see here.